The next time you pull a steaming, stringy slice of delivery pizza from its cardboard box, I want you to look closely at the white, bubbling cheese stretching from the crust. It looks beautiful, it smells incredible, and it satisfies your deepest late-night cravings. But behind the heavy corporate marketing and flashing neon signs of America's multi-billion-dollar pizza empires, lies a dark, industrial secret that will change the way you look at fast food forever. The truth is, you aren't just eating dairy and meat. Scientifically, that perfect-looking pizza is closer to a factory-engineered plastic science project. To protect their massive profit margins against inflation, some of the most powerful pizza giants in the United States have quietly committed a massive food fraud. They have systematically replaced genuine dairy curd with ultra-processed, analog cheese, an artificial mixture of hydrogenated vegetable oils, industrial starches, emulsifiers, and chemical binders designed to mimic the melt of real cheese at a fraction of the cost. And the meat? It is an even bigger illusion, pumped with heavy soy protein fillers, mechanically separated poultry paste, and water-binding chemicals to fake the weight of real pork and beef. What you are about to discover about these 5 massive chains won't just shock your system, it will make you realize how easily your digestive health is being traded for corporate wealth. Let us pull back the curtain on the fake, rubbery reality hiding inside America's favorite pizza boxes. The scale of this deception is massive, and it starts with the absolute giants of the industry. Consider Pizza Hut, an undisputed global pioneer that built its entire legacy on the promise of the ultimate pan pizza. Their commercials show fresh, premium ingredients being tossed by artisan cooks, but what happens inside their automated kitchen operations tells a completely different story. To keep up with massive, high-velocity delivery rushes across thousands of locations, Pizza Hut heavily relies on a highly engineered substance officially labeled in the industry as pizza cheese. This product is far removed from traditional, pure mozzarella. Internal ingredient logs reveal that this cheese blend is heavily modified with food starch, whey protein concentrate, and sodium propionate, an anti-caking preservative chemical designed to keep pre-shredded cheese from clumping together during transport. This industrial formulation allows the cheese to melt uniformly under extreme conveyor belt ovens without burning, but as it cools, it creates a rubbery, synthetic mouthfeel. The deception deepens when you analyze their premium meat toppings. Their sausage crumbles and pepperoni slices are packed with textured soy protein concentrates and chemical water binders. This allows the corporate factories to cut down on actual pork and beef content while using chemicals to retain water weight, meaning you are paying premium prices for seasoned bean protein and water. When you experience a heavy, greasy bloating after eating a single slice, your stomach isn't struggling with dairy, it is fighting to break down industrial emulsifiers. Next, we must look at Domino's, a hyper-efficient powerhouse that dominates the global market through precision delivery metrics and fast turnaround times. Domino's positions itself as a tech-forward company serving fresh food, but their high-velocity processing model forces devastating operational shortcuts in ingredient quality. Independent food safety investigations and public supply chain audits show that to survive their ultra-high temperature baking systems, Domino's cheese blends are modified with artificial stabilizers and modified cornstarch. This creates an extreme, artificial elasticity, the perfect cheese pull you see on social media, while severely diluting the natural nutritional value of the dairy. When this engineered cheese enters your system, the synthetic fats are incredibly difficult for the human liver to process. But the meat stations hide an even bigger operational red flag. Look closely at the ingredient disclosures for their beef and ham toppings. They are highly processed combinations filled with sodium phosphates and hydrolyzed proteins. These chemicals are used to structurally alter the meat fibers so they absorb maximum water, allowing the chain to ship lighter meat that weighs more on the scale due to chemical hydration. You are literally being charged premium delivery prices for chemically trapped tap water disguised as seasoned beef. Moving on to Little Caesars, a brand that has completely conquered the low-cost fast food market with their famous, hot and ready, business model. When a corporate chain promises a large, fully cooked pizza instantly for a dirt-cheap price, basic economics dictates that quality must be sacrificed. Little Caesars manages their razor-thin profit margins by using pre-shredded cheese formulations that contain shocking amounts of cellulose powder, which is technically refined wood pulp. The chain uses this as an anti-clumping agent, but it also acts as a cheap filler that alters the biological structure of the food. Furthermore, their cheese relies heavily on vegetable fat substitutes to mimic the richness of genuine milk fat. The meat toppings on a Little Caesars pizza are an even greater cause for concern among food scientists. Their cheap pepperoni and sausage crumbles are loaded with mechanically separated poultry paste, a pink slime created by forcing leftover animal bones through a high-pressure sieve to scrape off residual tissue, blended with textured vegetable protein. This factory sludge is heavily seasoned with artificial smoke flavors and salt to mask its true origin, turning your quick, affordable family dinner into a dangerous biological gamble. Papa John's spent decades building its entire brand equity around the legendary slogan, "Better ingredients, better pizza." However, aggressive corporate expansion and intense market competition have heavily compromised their original standards. To combat rising food costs, their signature mozzarella cheese blend has been modified with milk protein concentrates and modified starches to stretch the raw product as far as possible. Independent food testers and consumer advocates have repeatedly noted a unique phenomenon with Papa John's pizza. The moment the pizza cools down to room temperature, the cheese hardens into a shiny, plastic-like layer that completely refuses to melt properly a second time. This is a classic chemical indicator of heavy starch stabilizers overriding natural dairy fats. Their bacon and beef toppings are equally engineered, packed with artificial nitrites, MSG, and soy binders to preserve shelf life for months in plastic factory bags, completely destroying the illusion of fresh, better ingredients. Our final stop takes us to Chuck E. Cheese, a massive entertainment chain that dominates family birthday parties and children's amusement across America. Because their primary business model focuses on games, tokens, and arcade tickets, their kitchen discipline is treated as a secondary priority, leading to massive operational shortcuts. Their pizza cheese is a highly processed formulation specifically engineered to remain melted and shiny for hours under weak arcade heat lamps without drying out. This artificial longevity is achieved by tightly binding the cheese matrix with modified cornstarch and hydrogenated oils, leaving a thick, greasy film on the roofs of children's mouths. Their meat toppings arrive at the locations as mass-produced, pre-cooked frozen pellets packed with heavy chemical preservatives to extend shelf life indefinitely, serving young children highly processed chemical formulations instead of real, wholesome food. When you look back at these 5 massive pizza empires, an undeniable corporate pattern emerges. It is never about giving you an authentic culinary experience, it is about high-volume industrial throughput and maximizing shareholder value at the expense of your health. Fake meat, wood pulp fillers, and oil-based analog cheeses are not accidental mistakes, they are systemic industry choices driven by an obsession with low food costs and fast turnover. Your quick delivery meal might come with a mountain of convenience, but it also comes with an invisible gamble that your digestive system simply shouldn't have to take. So, how do you protect your family the next time the craving for a pizza slice hits? First, utilize your senses. If the cheese on your pizza feels suspiciously spongy, turns into a rigid plastic film as it cools, or leaves a heavy coating of oil on your fingers, stop eating immediately and demand a refund. Second, avoid ordering during chaotic rush hours when quality control completely vanishes behind the kitchen doors. Finally, skip the mass-production corporate drive-thrus and assembly lines entirely, and support local, authentic pizzerias that slice their meats fresh and use genuine, 100% mozzarella curd. Shaving a few dollars off your bill is never worth risking your long-term health. Stay smart, keep your eyes open, and remember, if the pizza looks like plastic, trust your survival instincts and walk away. Like and subscribe to help us keep the blinding spotlight on the food industry's darkest corporate secrets.